If you look around Western Pennsylvania, you'll find that there are many downtowns that are deteriorating or have over the years. Stores have moved out, closed down, family businesses have closed. But here in Butler, in downtown Butler, it's a different story because there's been a rebirth here in the last number of years. Bob Dandoy is the president of Butler Downtown, and he's a longtime board member, having been involved with this nonprofit organization for many years. And he's seen some changes that have taken place and are still taking place. Bob, there has been a major change here just in the last few years. What brought it all about?
Well, I think there's overall a national field to move away from the malls and the big box stores that are in the outlying areas where many of the downtown businesses moved, and more towards that personalized experience, unique experience that the independent business owner can bring to the consumer. So I think they're looking for that unique thing, that thing that makes it different, and not that cookie cutter look or services or products that sometimes are in the bigger chains and big box stores.
Bob, what you're saying probably is what every business person in small towns around Western Pennsylvania have been saying for years, but very little has happened in those areas. Why has it come to fruition here?
Well, there's been a couple of things. First of all, there are some pretty visionary business people in Butler who are saying, yes, we believe in it, and we're going to put our money where our belief is, and to make businesses, to invest in businesses, to bring businesses to downtown. We also have in Butler that desire among the people of the community. You mentioned I'm a longtime board member. Yeah, but I'm a longtime resident, lifetime resident of Butler. I've seen all the changes, both good and bad, happen in this community. It's a very different community than my childhood, Butler. And so there are people that believe that this is the kind of community that we love, that we want to see prosper. And with that belief then comes those movements, those organizations, those efforts to help revitalize it. Not just a matter of somebody that's a business owner saying, I'll write the check and put a business in, but how do we as consumers and citizens help a little bit better too? And that really led to the work with Butler Downtown.
We've heard the phrase city center for a number of years. Nothing ever happened until recently, but it's really happening now, isn't it?
Well, the wheels of bureaucracy turn very, very slowly, and there was some back and forth, but it is happening now with the Rite Aid, new Rite Aid opening. It's beautiful building, certainly a significant impact to the downtown. The hotel and parking garage to follow quickly on its heels, and so those things are happening in City Center, and it's going to be a big thing.
What do you think the reason is there are so many people going into business for the first time opening stores in downtown Butler? What brought that about?
Well, I think there's a couple of things that happen, and above all is just that desire and then the opportunity. There were empty storefronts. There was a need that was being perceived in our community to say, this is the kind of thing that would go in this downtown area. And so I think when people see that opportunity, they reach for it.
Looking back over the years that you've been involved with Butler Downtown, how would you summarize what you've seen in the last few years?
Well, certainly we've seen some things go, those memories that we know about in downtown Butler, but we've seen some exciting things come in to downtown Butler too. Things like Morgan's Frozen Yogurt. We did lose Natilli's, but we still have the presence of Natilli's restaurant in downtown Butler with the pizza shop and with Natilli North. We see very shortly here Reclamation Brewing, one of the microbreweries that's going to happen. That's a big effort here all over the United States, and certainly can be part of Butler. And we still have the stalwarts, the people that have always been there for us: Cummings Coffee, Miller's Meats, the Brick House, places like that are part of the downtown area.
Bob, it sounds optimistic. It sounds like the city is heading in the right direction. Butler Downtown is heading in the right direction. Thanks very much for being with us.
Right. Well, I'm pleased to be with us, and we can always use more help. So if anybody's out there that would like to get involved in the organization, you can find us on the web and Facebook and all those other great places. We'll be happy to put you to work to help out.
Bob, what's your web address?
www.butlerdowntown.org.
Downtown Butler. Now, we should be talking to some people who have stores downtown, who have opened new businesses or are managing some of the businesses downtown. So let's take a trip up and down Main Street and talk with some of those folks. One of the greatest votes of confidence for a business is to expand, to move to larger quarters. And that's the case of Rite Aid Pharmacy in downtown Butler. And Greg Sassy is the manager of the new Rite Aid Pharmacy here in downtown Butler. And Greg, what led Rite Aid to decide to move from across the street to much bigger facilities here?
Well, Larry, we get a lot of feedback from our customers. We have a lot of loyal customers. They told us what they wanted, and we just were determined to provide this kind of environment that they wanted in downtown. There's nobody else has anything like this in downtown. So we've built this beautiful store. It's very spacious, roomy. We have a parking lot. Everybody wanted a parking lot. So we have a big, safe, well-lit parking lot. We expanded the pharmacy, the waiting room. Everybody wanted a public restroom. Everybody wanted more features in the store. So it was all incorporated. We did the best we can do, and I think the end result has been really astounded, even astounded us.
How much larger is this store from the previous one?
Well, it's almost double in size. It's a pretty good sized building. It's larger than what you would expect in a downtown location.
Well, this building opened in 2014. Has it reached its potential yet, or is it at least what you hoped it would be at this point?
Well, all I could say is that thank you, Butler. We have been very blessed here. Our expectations have been exceeded, and this city, the people around here and in the surrounding communities that shop in here have really expressed their confidence in this business.
Now, what are the new features in this store that weren't available across the street?
We expanded a lot. Well, really every department's expanded, and we added a lot of products that people wanted. Just things that you don't always have time to go out of town to grab things. Just little things like a sewing department, like a little hardware department, shoe care. Just all these little things that you don't need every day, but it's just so convenient that you can just grab them quick.
Well, Greg, I understand this is like a grocery store and a food store as well.
Oh, it's unbelievable, Larry. Rite Aid's not necessarily been a proponent of being in the food business, but that's what people want, and people want convenience. And we have all this grab and go stuff, and you can grab your milk and your bread, and you can get your Hostess cakes, and you can get all your healthy snacks too, and your organic and your gluten-free snacks too.
A lot of optimism here downtown, as you can see, folks, and Greg Sassy is the manager here at Rite Aid Drug Store. Just one example of what's happening up and down Main Street in downtown Butler. Another thriving business in downtown Butler is the Chop Shop. Bill Atkinson started this in 2011. Bill, why did you decide to open up a shop here?
We wanted to come downtown. I grew up in Butler. I'm from here originally. I only ever really left to go to culinary school. So eventually, I knew I wanted to start my own business. I wanted to come downtown and try and kind of recreate some of the smaller, trendier places that you find like in the south side of Pittsburgh or Oakland, in the little neighborhood areas. Our downtown had been kind of regressing for a while, and it needed something. For us, it worked well because property was cost effective for us. The building was already here. It was already a restaurant. We were able to come in and remodel without having to go through Harrisburg. We just dealt with the city, with John Nath, John Evans. They were very easy for us to work with. So it made sense for us to come here. Everything that we needed structurally was here. Some of the bigger equipment that we needed to expand from our little catering business that we were doing to a restaurant was here. And like I said, I like downtown. I wanted to do what I could to try and make Butler downtown a better place for people in my generation.
Now, optimism is one thing, but from a practical standpoint, has it fulfilled your dreams that this would become maybe one of the fine restaurants downtown?
We're getting there. We are slowly making progress. Our reputation is very good right now. If you look us up online or all of the review sites, we do pretty well on. What I would like to see, though, is our business in the evening expand some. When we first opened, we knew that not many people were coming downtown in the evening for anything because most of downtown closed by 5 o'clock. So we targeted breakfast and lunch when we first opened, Monday through Friday, when the working crowd would be in town already. And we just slowly started to build the reputation that way. From there, we started to add evening hours, which is great. Right now, there are only a few of us that are open in the evenings, so downtown's still not really thought of as the place to go at night yet. So we're trying to work on helping to change that perception now.
Well, sometimes people feel that downtown in a small town such as Butler only attracts older people at night. What about here?
No, actually, a lot of our clientele are in their mid-20s all the way through, late 50s. We have a pretty wide range for our target here. I personally am a fan of noisier restaurants. As you can hear my radio going on right now. We have an open kitchen, so you hear the kitchen guys on the line yelling back and forth the orders and stuff that they need. And I think that actually creates a much younger feel here. I think younger generation is more into that type of thing.
What kind of food are you specializing in here?
We do American food. Little twists on things. We start with things that are familiar. We do a lot of soup, salad, sandwiches, and then apply twists, little things, little different sauces, different preparations to kind of make them unique. Almost everything here is made from scratch. My background before here was a lot of casual fine dining around Pittsburgh. So we just take all the techniques and that we applied to things in casual fine dining, apply them here, and then the finished product is a soup, salad, or sandwich.
Some people are a little confused, Bill. I'm calling you Bill Atkinson, but you have Jim on your shirt. What's that about?
I do. I like old work shirts. I feel like they fit the theme here. Growing up, I like to go to thrift stores, things like that, find old work shirts, and that's what I would wear. So when we opened here, I found a guy who buys all the old retired work shirts from different companies, and that's what we buy and use here. And then we just have our logos printed on the back. So nobody's name is ever correct on their shirt here.
Well, Bill or Jim or whoever you are, thanks for inviting us in, and good luck with the Chop Shop. And is there some way people can read about you on the website?
Yeah, if they go to chopshopbutler.com, that's our website. Our menus, everything, pictures of our entire menu are on that website. There's a little bit about the staff, a little bit about the beginning of the restaurant and things like that. There's some history there. You can check all that stuff out there, and you can also stop in here or give us a call. We do a lot of catering, a lot of stuff like that. So
Thanks very much. Good to be here.
thank you.
How does a jeweler become an owner of a frozen yogurt store next door to the jewelry store? Well, Don Paul has been a jeweler down here for a long time. How did all that happen, that you decided to get into a different business in addition to your own?
Just by chance, we thought, my wife and I were talking, it was actually her idea, and we just went ahead with it and ended up purchasing a store up in New Jersey that went out of business and brought it all back to Butler to try to revitalize Main Street.
Of course, you did a big renovation job here. What's the theme that you put together?
Well, this building was built in 1929, and we tried to keep a 1930s ice cream parlor theme going.
What's been the reaction so far?
Everybody loves it. Yeah, everybody loves it.
What's different about this place than some of the others you've seen?
Well, we're not, fancy colors and polka dots and things like that. We went with the old tin ceiling and Edison lights, plank flooring and brick walls and stuff like that to give it, a lot of woodwork to give it more character and more class.
You've been in business downtown for some time, 30 years or so. You've seen many changes, not only in the jewelry business, but just generally speaking. What brought about the recent changes in the last few years?
Well, we've seen lots of ups and downs over the years, with the Clearview Mall opening, and then now it's fading away, and people are coming back to Butler here. We've seen a lot of new businesses come and go, but lately with the renovations that like Mr. Gray's been doing up the street and other places, the new hotel, parking garage, stuff we've been doing here on our block, taking old dilapidated buildings and fixing them up for the people on Main Street to have a place to shop and go eat. It's working out pretty well.
Don, for a long time, people were wondering why people didn't live on the second floor of some of these stores on Main Street in Butler. It's starting to happen now. What brought about the change?
I just think we see people migrating towards the city to live. They like to have upper scale apartments and different things versus living in the country. I don't know if there's, what the real reason is, but we like it happening.
Are people coming in town to shop, or just people that live in the city?
Well, I've had my jewelry store. We relocated to Main Street from Jefferson Street in 2005, and we've been surviving real well there in the past 10 years. And with the other new businesses coming on this block too, there's a lot of people shopping.
This is called Morgan's Frozen Yogurt. Let's talk about the kind of yogurt you have here.
Okay, we have 6 machines with 12 different flavors, including twists. Also, you see behind here we have a fixing bar with fresh fruit toppings, almost 80 toppings, different toppings people have, some baked goods, biscotti, coffee, hot chocolate, a little bit of everything for everyone.
Is this a model that many other yogurt stores have around the country?
No, sir. We're unique because we're a small business and locally owned. We have a different variety also. One of the machines has a soft serve ice cream, which the other yogurt shops do not have.
Do you see a second Morgan's Frozen Yogurt store somewhere?
No, not really. This is enough.
Where did the name come from?
Well, my daughter Morgan, we named it after her. She was 9 at the time when we decided to do this. Now she's 10 years old and she has her own frozen yogurt store.
Maybe we should talk to the namesake of this store. Morgan, aren't you proud that your name is on the front of a store?
Yes, I am.
Do you like the yogurt here?
I love it.
Is this man here prodding you in your back while you're saying that?
Yeah.
What's your favorite dish here?
I like, usually I get vanilla custard with graham crackers on top of it, and then I get some hot chocolate.
Now, you go to school at Oakland Township Elementary School. Do you sometimes invite some of your friends down here?
Yeah.
I bet they're glad that you're in their class.
Yeah.
Larry, can you mention my son Michael too? Come on over here, Mike. He's the general manager of the store here, and him and myself and another fellow renovated this whole place over an 8-month period.
Michael, come on over a little bit closer so we can get to see you.
All right.
Have you ever managed a store before?
Absolutely. I'm here usually 5 or 6 days a week managing things.
I mean, before this.
No.
What did you do before this?
I was in high school. I just dropped out. I didn't drop out of high school. I finished up high school, and I started doing a little bit of research on how these things run and got a general idea how you're supposed to do things, and we started refining our methods. And I pretty much oversee everything and make sure everything's done correctly here.
What kind of reaction do you get from customers about this new business downtown?
Oh, everyone I talk to, I mean, I can't even think of one off the top of my head. Everyone loves it here. Everyone loves the inside. Everyone loves the warm feeling you get when you come here, and everyone likes our broad selection of different things that we have here.
Good for you, Michael. Nice to see you.
Thank you.
Some of you will remember the Troutman building in downtown Butler. Troutman's department store was here for many, many years. But it closed and was empty. The building was empty for so long until Chris Gatto had the idea maybe he could do something with this building. So he started Cycle Warehouse. Chris, how did you get the idea to come to Butler from one thing and then also decide to buy this particular building?
Just drove down here a couple times looking at buildings, and the building was empty and it was huge. I figured I could use the space. The traffic on Main Street is just absolutely amazing. Couldn't get a parking place to come look at the building. I thought that was pretty good. Walked in, the size of the building was incredible. The location was good. And who never heard of Butler?
Well, a Cycle Warehouse tells us a few things, like you have motorcycles, but what else do you have in here besides motorcycles?
We do motorcycles, parts, accessories, mostly parts. Do vintage parts from turn of the century up to current. Average customer probably drives about an hour to get here just because we have stuff that nobody else has.
Nobody else in the country has what you have here?
No, probably not.
How did this start? You were, I know your family was in the motorcycle business or the auto business. How did this come about?
I guess I'm a motorcycle junkie. I just can't get enough motorcycles. There's just too many cool ones out there, too many makes, too many models, too many styles. And I don't know, it's it started out as supposed to be a hobby, and I got carried away as usual.
Now, you have 2,000 motorcycles here. What's the oldest one and what's the newest one?
The oldest one's a 1909 Indian. It's still original paint. Actually bought it off a guy in Monroeville, PA, which wasn't that far away. Newest one's got 2014s.
I understand that you do a lot of business on the internet and through other means other than directly facing the customer. How do you do that?
Do a lot of stuff on eBay. We have a website, a lot of Craigslist. Like I said, just put stuff on that nobody else has, and the guys will drive for it.
So people know that you're here and probably have access to more parts than anybody else. So how do you know where everything is? There must be millions of parts on these few floors at Troutman's building?
I have a couple guys here that are really into it. One parts guy is a history major for 20 years, and he's very intimate on the antique motorcycles, antique parts, so I use him for a lot of reference. Most of the guys here, if you enjoy what you do, it's easier to learn, you get better at it.
Well, it's nice talking to you and meeting you and coming in this building for the first time since it was a Troutman's department store. And it's just another indication of what's happening in downtown Butler, and it's good to hear your story.
I appreciate that.
The Natilles family have owned restaurants in downtown Butler for 75 years. Vince Tavalerio operates Natilles North, right next door, and the new Natilles Pizza Shop. Vince, you've been involved with downtown Butler for a long time, and things are starting to happen down here. Is that one of the reasons you decided to open up a new location here next to Natilles North?
Yeah, absolutely. I think you're correct. I mean, things are happening that are have been much better in the probably last 5 or 6 years than the last 30 years. Because when the malls opened up in the early 80s, it was devastating for downtown. But I think it's all kind of swinging back. I really do.
Now, why is that? Why is suddenly things happening down here?
I'll tell you, my personal feeling is I don't like to go to a mall and have to go to one store at one end and another store at another end, and I'm walking forever. You know, as we age a little bit, it's not so easy to do that. And I think, and you see that with evidence of strip malls that are being built because people drive to the store, and I think that's what you have downtown. I mean, the more interesting places have opened up recently, and we're excited about this hotel coming downtown. That to me is a game changer. That's great. That's going to be good.
Now, there's a lot of optimism down here, and obviously you share this. Let's talk about your pizza shop here. You were in the restaurant business for so long. This is a little bit different. How did you decide on pizza?
You know what? My mother had a pizza shop I'm from Youngstown, Ohio. When I was 9 years old, in fact, I have a photograph somewhere, my dad put up a little frozen custard stand. In those days was frozen custard. And then a year later, my mother introduced pizza. And this pizza is her recipe. Not quite as good. It's very good, but she always made it better than my brother and I used to be there, but she always made it better for some reason. But I just, it's kind of going back to your roots maybe. You feel that's what you did when you were a kid. And the building became available, and because of the proximity of the Natilles North, I couldn't pass it up. I just,
There are so many pizza shops around Western Pennsylvania. What makes this different? Why do people come here?
Hopefully, this is a little bit different and a little bit better. It's all homemade dough, homemade sauce. I know a lot of people do that. There's so many chains that are out there. We're a non-chain, obviously, and so we have something to offer. I think that is unique, and the people that come here, they love it. We were #1 pizza last year at a Reader's Choice in the newspaper. You know that thing they do. So it was fun for that to happen. And eventually, I'm going to put a pass-through from here to the North Restaurant, which is right next door. It's a common wall there.
Are your customers all people who live in the downtown area?
No, I wouldn't say that. I mean, we do get repeat customers a lot. It seems like everybody has their own trade, so to speak. Kind of when you went to Cheers, you remember when the Cheers bar, all the same guys would come in. We have a lot of repeat business, but we get people from different areas, a lot of out-of-town people. I'll tell you what, when people come from out of town and they see what's going on downtown, they're amazed, because there are things that in other towns in this part of the country, they're not there. You have empty storerooms, you have this, you have that. We've had a few changes here and there, but for the most part, there's a lot of life in this downtown, and people recognize that.
Vince, good to talk to you. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Larry.
The mayor of the city of Butler is Tom Donaldson. Mayor Donaldson, I know that you've been working with people and thinking about the future of this city. What's your vision for downtown Butler?
I want downtown Butler to be a destination for people to come to visit, to have an enjoyable experience. So, we have a lot of mom and pop stores that have popped up in replacement of some of the bigger names that were here in the past. I see Main Street's coming back, and we don't have a lot of empty buildings, and when we do get an empty building, it seems like somebody's coming along interested to take that spot.
This is different from most of the other small towns in western Pennsylvania. What is it? What group of people or what thought brought all of this together? Why is it better here than most other places?
Well, I don't know about the other places, but I know we have an organization called Butler Downtown. It's a group of people working together, business owners, some of them are the mom and pops, other interested groups in the community, our Butler Shade Tree Commission. These people work for the common good of downtown, and they have a great vision. They have a long-term plan, and they've been working on it for the past several years. It's brought development, and it's a great group of people that unfortunately has just went and become all volunteer because of lack of funding. But it's a great bunch of people. Bob Dandoy was the outgoing president. Tom Panay was the president prior to Bob. These people are committed to this city.
There have been some major changes in the last year or so. Rite Aid, pharmacy, and more to come. Tell us about some of those.
The new Rite Aid is a great addition to downtown. Yes, that left an empty building across the street, but it will be filled. There'll be somebody else come into that building. I've heard different stories, of people interested in moving into town. We have a Reclamation Brewery looking forward to their opening soon. Other people have talked about bringing businesses into town. I've had phone calls. Do I know any properties that could be developed for businesses? We've got other business people in the city that have bought buildings, and they've renovated them, and they have upstairs apartments. One of the things that I envision for downtown Butler is a thriving business district with like our mom and pop stores, our restaurants. We have a bunch of good places to eat, Chop Shop, Natilli's North, just for two of them. But when we have the Reclamation Brewery come in, they're going to have a menu also. We've lost Natilli's South, but that building will be filled with somebody with some other idea for a business to move forward.
Mayor, something you haven't mentioned yet is the hotel and parking garage.
Yes, we are planning a new hotel in downtown Butler. This is a continuation of a Center City project that many people in the past, including my predecessor, have looked forward to. And I look at this, it's a key component to downtown being reborn. It is the center of the city. A parking garage will facilitate parking for upscale apartments above the businesses. It'll facilitate parking for the hotel.
This optimism over the past number of years has been enormous, and I guess the last 2 years has brought more business here than maybe many people envisioned. As you mentioned, there's the new hotel coming in. There's the new parking garage. There are new restaurants coming in. There's interest in some of the other buildings in downtown Butler. So it looks like all the dreams that maybe have been thwarted over the last 10 or 15 years are coming to fruition.
Downtown Butler is a vital area. It's an important area. It's a historic area. It's an area that has a bright future.
Mayor Tom Donaldson of the city of Butler, a look at what the future will be, and as a matter of fact, the future is here. Downtown Butler with great optimism in this area. I'm Larry Berg. We'll see you next time on Faces and Places.